Singleness is one of those topics that almost everyone has an opinion on. Culture tells us to chase independence and build a life where we don't need anyone. The church often tells us to simply be content and trust God's timing. Somewhere in the middle are real people trying to faithfully follow Jesus while carrying a very real desire for marriage. Today's episode is a little different because I'm on the other side of the microphone. Instead of interviewing a guest, one of our team members, Jenni, is interviewing me. We're talking honestly about singleness, how culture defines it, how the church talks about it, what scripture actually says, and what this journey has looked like in my own life. This isn't a conversation with all the answers. It's simply an invitation to be honest about a season so many people are walking through. Hey friend, welcome to the Between the Pages podcast, where we explore navigating life's peaks and valleys with bold faith. Join us bi-weekly as we dive into meaningful conversations with guests, team members, and community leaders. Together, we'll tackle topics that challenge and encourage, helping you live out your faith between the pages of everyday life.
I can go.
This is what happens, friends. Welcome to the Between the Pages podcast.
We gotta
Jenni's.
dust off
Here's the thing.
Dust off the mics a little bit.
This is going to be the most raw episode ever because one, it has been a hot minute since we have been on the mic. Two, it's been a hot minute since I have not been the one that intros.
I know.
And I'm pretty sure we talked about before we started rolling that you were just going to intro, and here we are just staring at each other for a very awkward amount of time.
You're so good at it, and you're just like, boom, right into it. And I'm just like, 3, 2, 1. Okay, go.
Jenni's like, and scene. Well, friends, here we are. That was the most probably on-brand way to reintroduce the Between the Pages podcast.
Yeah.
Let's just say life for our team has been quite busy since March. A little kind of recap. We were at Called the beginning of March. And then
Crushing it.
I decided to go travel the world for a little bit. And then we were here in Duluth for
Another conference.
Yeah. The Spring Renewal Conference. I almost forgot what it was called, but the Spring Renewal Conference.
Yeah.
And after that, Jenni had her baby.
Yeah.
So Jenni is a mom. She's always been a mom, though, from the last 9 months. But,
Right.
But the little guy has
now.
appeared.
Yeah.
And he's the squishiest, cutest little thing ever.
He already has so many people who love him. It's amazing.
Here's the thing, guys, is I just held him on Sunday for the first time, and I was like, you little peanut. He's so cute.
Yeah.
He's my fave. Along with all my other friends that have babies right now, I'm like, Auntie Becca here.
You're the favorite aunt. Yeah.
Oh, that is my life goal, to be the favorite aunt.
I love it.
And then let's see, Grace got married just a couple weeks ago. So that's been a fun thing that we've all been able to celebrate.
Yeah.
Samantha just turned 30.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Samantha.
Happy birthday, Samantha. What else? There's been just a lot happening in our life. And so the podcast kind of took a little bit of a deep dive to life practically non-existent. But here we are. We're back.
Yeah.
And
it's a heavy topic today.
It is.
Yeah.
I would say it's one of those it's one of the topics that is talked about a lot, but not with a lot of depth.
Right.
People just don't like talking about singleness.
Over it. Yep.
They don't like talking about relationships. They don't like talking about people talk about love, and that's about it.
Yep.
And they usually are talking about agape love. Let's not talk about the lovey-dovey stuff.
Yeah.
But then here we are. And Jenni gets to take the mic because I'm in the hot seat, and I don't really know how I feel about it, but I also have been praying about this for quite some time, which has then brought the idea because singleness has been a really big part of my story growing up. And by growing up, I mean, I'm almost 29. But it's been one of those things where as I've been getting older and closer to my 30s, that I've had to really lean on my board for and my community and the Lord because of just the way society and the church has talked about and talks about singleness. Yeah. And so I think it's just something that's really relevant now. And I don't know if it's my algorithm on Instagram or if people are that's just what people are talking about. But there's a lot of talk right now on social media about singleness and independence and dating and all the things. And so we're going to break it down.
Yep.
We're still in our deconstruction series, kind of talking through what is some hot topics in the church. Buzzwords, and then how is it defined in the scripture? How does the world define it? And then how do we live this out in our life today?
I love it. with that personal application too, to wrap it all up.
For sure.
So to kind of kick us off, Rebecca, I have some quotes or phrases that maybe like get tossed around when it talks about singleness, and I want you to rank them like from 1 to 5. 1 being like the worst, I hate hearing this, like why do people bring this up? To 5 being like, okay, that one's not that bad. Are you ready? So 1 being the worst.
She tried to tell me
5
these
being
earlier,
like,
and I was like, I think I want to be surprised.
Okay. So the first one is...
So wait, 1 is the worst.
Sorry, 1 is
like,
the worst.
I hate hearing that.
I don't want to hear this.
Okay.
Please don't ever tell me this.
These could be really good.
Okay. The first one is, why are you still single?
1, I hate that. Like, actually with a passion.
Yeah. All right. That's good. Kicking off strong.
We're starting really strong. Okay.
You just need to put yourself out there. How do we feel about that one?
I'm kind of like a 3 because I think sometimes my community is like, okay, girl, you're literally trying to be a hermit right now. Like, I think it's like, I take it from like, okay, just get out there a little bit more, like be a little bit more bold. Mm-hmm. But then I can see the other way too. And I would say I'm pretty neutral on that.
Okay, that's good. Next one. As soon as you stop looking, the perfect guy will find you.
1, hate it. This is such a cliche. No.
Okay.
It makes me cringe.
Next one.
I feel like I have trauma coursing through my body right now.
I'm not saying this to you. This is like what not to tell your single friends.
Right. Don't tell your single friends like any of these.
Okay, next one. You're just too picky.
Like a 2.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm picky, but I have high standards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And we'll get into that. Okay, a 2.
You must have so much free time and money.
What free time?
You're like the busiest person I know.
I guess I'm gonna go with the 5 because here's the thing is I don't have free time to begin with. And so I'm kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go with the 5. We'll go with 1 of 5 at least.
Anyone would be lucky to have you.
You know what? I would give that a 4 because I think sometimes it's reassuring. Mm-hmm. Depends on the context.
Yep. Who it's coming from.
And who it's coming from.
Yep.
But I think sometimes like, especially when you're kind of like a little bit in like the lonely phase, in a lonely season, it's kind of nice to be like, okay.
Yeah. Next one. Have you tried the apps?
1. I have to tell you.
Yes.
This is probably how we should probably open when it comes to the apps, and this is a whole story, but I literally downloaded and deleted Hinge within 24 hours.
That's,
Like actually recently too. Like within the last I don't know, 3 to 4 weeks. Probably 3, closer to 3. I couldn't do it.
No.
I was like, done.
Recently deleted and recently downloaded.
For real. I was like, and we download and we delete literally in the same day.
Great. All right, next one. I know someone you might like. Can I set you up?
A 5.
Okay.
I appreciate when people are like, hey, like if you're open to it, like I have someone that I think you would vibe with. And like, sure, why
Especially
not?
if they know you well.
If they know you well, you trust them. But I'm also kind of like, I appreciate when people that I trust have an interest in my love life by helping actively with it.
That's great. This one's kind of related to that one, but it's coming from like an older person talking to you. Oh. So my son is your age and also single. No, not your, like someone older.
Oh, okay.
My son is your age and also single.
Like a 3.
Okay.
I feel like if they just said that, I'd be like, and?
Right. There's no follow-up.
Is there more? Like, I'm not going to be the one that's like, oh, or do they want to get coffee on Friday? Like,
okay.
You can take the initiative on that one.
There's 2 more left. Your expectations are too high. That's kind of like the picky one. Lower your standards. Your expectations are too high.
2.
Yeah.
Because I think like it's good to have healthy standards.
Yeah.
You don't want to scrub.
No.
Ladies, no scrubs.
The last one is use this time to travel or date yourself.
I would say 3. And I would say 3 only because like I feel like the only thing I really haven't done much that I've been like trying to do more is like solo dates and just like doing things for me out and about. But like I travel anyway. Even if I was dating someone, I'd be like, I'm going to Austin next week.
Even
so
if you're
you need
with
me,
someone,
text me.
You should still have like your own hobbies and your own.
Exactly.
You don't get wrapped up in that person.
Like you should have your own life still.
Great. Well, use this list as a guide when you're talking to your single friends. Make sure you're following Rebecca's advice. If it was a 1, do not bring it up.
Yeah, don't bring it up. If it was a 1.
But
maybe keep that list in the back of your pockets.
All right, so let's dive into a little bit about how the world defines singleness. I feel like it's either like a badge of pride for some people, or like they just feel like they're in this pity party. It's kind of one or the other sometimes. And when the world and society and culture is like putting so much pressure on you, or timelines, and it's like movie plots and book characters and like songs, like it's all about relationships and singleness.
Yeah.
What do you think of when you're thinking of like today in the culture and society? How would like that kind of society define singleness?
I think something that, especially culture nowadays, and with social media, it plays a bigger part in relationships and singleness, because like you can go on like your Instagram like homepage and it'd be like 5 texts to send a guy to make them like you, or like 10 date nights you should do before you become official. And like all these things. It's like, okay, who says that all these things? Like, it's almost like they try to make a formula for a relationship, or like this is the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 to get to the altar kind of thing. But I also think at the same time, there's the opposite side of things where culture has kind of crafted singleness as like, you just need to be the independent go-getter. That VP of your company, like you should be focused on like your work, and you should be independent, and you should just like not care about anything else. And I think a little bit of that is like your success then of your life is based on what you accomplish in your life. And so there's this balance of, in culture, singleness and independence, but then also just having to be like this overachiever, go-getter, the top of the class, to be able to like show something for your life when you're single. And I think that's the biggest thing, is it's like, if you're single, you're trying to be like, well, this is what I have to show for my life. Like, I'm the VP of my company, so I've been working so much, so I haven't had time to date.
Almost like defensive.
Yes. Yeah. Like they're just trying to cover up like how they're really feeling with work or whatever, growing a business. And then there's like this idea of like living your best life and just traveling and being an influencer, and like the flexibility that you can have, which is like, okay, like you could have that in a relationship, but like, is this truly like you're just doing everything for you, but there's no part of like serving the church or serving your community? And then you just get into culture, and dating is just so casual. Right. Like the apps. Like it's like when so the full story of this whole dating app thing is like, I went on Hinge like probably 3 weeks ago, and all of a sudden, as I was like swiping through, let's just say I think I swiped left on like everybody. But I was like, I feel like I'm grocery shopping. Right. And I think that's what society has like, and not to say apps are bad by any means. Like I have friends that have met their partners on apps. Yeah. It's just not for me. Like I've tried it. I've done the thing. Like I was on the apps like years ago for like, I've gone on dates with guys through the apps, but they just like they didn't work out. Yep. So like I've done it. Yeah. It just wasn't for me. And then I tried it again to be like, okay, well maybe this time. Yeah. But I just hated feeling like I was grocery shopping. 2, I hated the way I started thinking about myself and like how these guys are portraying me. Yep. And then 3, I just like truly like hated the way that I started like not like festering on it, but like I was so like attached to my phone. I was like, oh my gosh, a like. Did someone swipe? And did someone swipe? Or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I just hate that. Yeah. Yeah. It just was like, I'm being consumed by this app who's going to tell me if I'm going to get married or not, basically. Right. But that's just culture has created this dating scene of, I want to say like kind of casual and disposable. Yeah. Like, I think like, apps make people feel replaceable. Yeah. Or like the popular TV shows right now that are just like reality TV, and it's like all about dating, but really it's just like, you know, like The Bachelor and Love Island and like those kind of shows. It's like, that's not real relationships. You know, like that's and all kudos to the people that get married on those and stay married. Like, yep. I think there's like a handful of couples. That's a tough way to start your relationship. Kudos. Yeah. Yeah. But like, wow. And I think too, like with movies and TV shows, they give this unrealistic picture of love in relationships and dating. And 2, social media plays into that by also like all of a sudden you think your algorithm is showing you all your friends who are dating or like announcing a new relationship or announcing a pregnancy or announcing an engagement or wedding pictures. And then you start feeling behind and then that turns into comparison and then you start spiraling and it's like, okay, wait, stop.
Right. Take a break.
Like, hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's like, it's almost when we look at culture and dating or any sort of relationship or singleness, it's just oversaturated with so much that it becomes so overwhelming and you don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like the biggest thing ever. Like, you've been saying too, like those are a lot of reasons how it could make you feel empty or like isolated versus like just taking a break or things like that. When you just step aside and maybe like you don't even focus on your friends anymore, you're just like right into the realm of dating. Do you think like culture has defined it in any healthy ways? Like, are there any boundaries that are like, oh, actually, that's pretty good?
I think there's a handful of couples that I follow on social media that have just a genuine relationship that like I see them doing ministry together. And that's always been my heart of like, I want to do ministry with my future husband, especially like with Boldly Seeking. Like, I want my husband to be a part of what I'm doing through this ministry, but also like me being involved in church and a leader at the church and doing ministry there weekly to be supportive of that. And that gets into the whole, like, they would just need to support women in ministry and women in leadership. But I think culture and social media has allowed for people that have those kind of relationships to share their story, to be like, this is possible.
Right.
Like, there is someone out there that would support you, or we don't have the perfect marriage, but like, this is what we're working on, or these are the things that we did to prepare for marriage. That like, I'm like, I trust your story because you have the same values as me. Like, and I think that's been super helpful to just like have as a reminder. Yeah. Not necessarily take and implement or be like, this is what I have to have, or this is what makes a successful marriage or a successful relationship. But it's something that's like, this is a picture of the potential that I could have one day.
Yep. And not that formula, like you were saying earlier, like A, B, C. This is just like, potential. I really like that. Or as an example. Yeah, I like that. Do you think the church has kind of used what culture defines as like singleness or dating or anything like that and like added it to their own definition? Or do you think the church has like their own separate definition of singleness? Or what does that look like?
Here's what I'll say about Here's what I'll say about the church and singleness. I think the church does a really good job of throwing out blanket statements to talk about singleness at church, but they will never dive deeper into just wait for the Lord's timing or, oh, we have this young adult ministry, or, oh, we have this community group. And here's what I'll say with that is, and this is something that I feel like I've been more passionate about recently because I'm in that season of life right now, is like, I was in a young adults group and all of a sudden I'm like looking around, I'm like, these are all people relatively younger than me, not by a lot, but like, I'm just in a very different season of life. Like, I'm building businesses, I have a career, I'm single, but like have this desire for marriage. I am trying to buy a house. Like, I'm just in a very different season of life than most of these people. And then all of a sudden I look, I'm like, okay, you guys are literally all either dating, married, or engaged.
Right.
And then there's me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, like they literally were like, we should do a marriage like section. I was like, and that's when I see myself out. Yep.
But
then it's like, if I go to the adult community group, then I'm going to someone's house where it's like all of them are married because they're all adults. And I'm like, ugh. It's such like, but like the church would be like, we see our single people. It's like, okay, you do, but like, it's so oversaturated with marriage focused ministries or like coupled ministries. Like, and that's where I think sometimes when we say that we're a relational church, that we're like, yes, we're relational, but are we relational in every stage of life that someone
Right.
can be in?
Yeah.
Because if it were me, I'd be like, I want to like find the other 30 somethings that aren't married and be like, can we just all go hang out? Like, we don't have to be like, who's dating who's going to get married to who, but like, hey, we're all walking through this crazy life together. And like, what better way to meet someone than through church?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And so I think the church does a good job talking relationally about singleness and like the sense of like, it is a gift, but I just use what they use a lot. It is a gift.
Yeah.
Blanket statement.
Right.
Okay, why is it a gift?
We just toss words around
We just toss words around.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I think it makes single people feel a little bit less seen because they're like, I've heard that before.
Yep.
Tell me something I haven't.
Right, exactly. That's on your list of things to rank.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And
my
so I
goodness.
think that's, and how does the church dive deeper into that? I think it's hard.
Right.
Because like you don't want to like just single out the single people because we don't like that either.
No.
But also, how do you make them feel not
Pushed
like an
aside
alien
yeah.
in
It's
your
not
community?
a disease. Yeah. It's,
Right.
Yeah. Right. You are single for a time. It's not like you're contagious or something. Yeah.
And especially like, and I think that's when it comes to like finding a mentor to be like, I have a mentor and it's like, she knows like when I'm interested in a guy or like when I'm really struggling. And I think that's been super important. I think that's where you can find that relational part when it comes to singleness in the church. But but unfortunately, that comes with you having to do that. The church isn't going to like dish out this like, hey, if you're single, here's a mentor.
Yeah.
But like to come to yourself to be like, you know what, who's someone that I could trust that does have a really godly marriage that can help see me through this season of life.
Yeah. Yeah. That's huge because I think when you are single, you can tend to like isolate yourself or pull back from your friend group. And that can really drift you away from like fellowship or like good, deep, intentional relationships that are just friendships too, because you feel like diseased or you feel like shunned or like off to the side or like, oh, we don't really want to talk about marriage around so-and-so because they're single and they're going through something. Yeah, that's really tough.
And I would say another thing that just came to mind too, as we're like talking about like culture, talking about singleness and the church talking about singleness. And this came to my mind last night when I was thinking about this podcast was culture in singleness is like, you are like, just, you have all the time in the world to do whatever you want and to like be super driven and volunteer at things and like put effort into your career. And then the church, I think sometimes, I wouldn't say like they manipulate that a little bit, but they're like, oh, like you have, like you don't have kids or you're, like are you planning on like putting roots down in like in Duluth or are you putting roots down here, but you don't have kids, like do you want to volunteer for this, and this? Yeah. Because they think because I'm single, I have so much time.
You have no other obligations.
And I have no other obligations. Yeah. And that's where I think I've struggled the most with. Is like, where's my boundary so that I still have time for myself, but still doing what I love, but putting that boundary to be like, just because I am single, I still have a life. Like, I still want to see friends. I still want to travel. I still want to like focus on my career. Yes, I'm passionate about the things that I do, but I'm not just readily available. Right. And I think sometimes the church can, as a general statement, I think sometimes the church can rely too much on their single people to be the volunteers and the only hands and feet of the church.
I see that. Yeah, I see that for sure. Yeah. Or you got all the time in the world. Volunteer here.
You don't have kids to worry about, so you can be here from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. if you really want to. And it's like, okay, well, I feel like I have to.
Like, use like, oh, I have to get home before like my husband's home, or like I have to go feed the kid, or like people do kind of use their relationships or their spouses or their kids as excuses not to volunteer for that, and that's not healthy either. That's not, the church needs to be a balance of both. Right. So that's a good thing to keep in mind too. Yeah. drifting from, so like we've talked about how culture is defining singleness and the church is defining it, maybe how the church should be, doing better. I'm assuming a lot of our listeners attend church. Maybe they can take like, oh yeah, I never thought of it that way. Or they can, start up something, which is really cool. Drifting more into like how Jesus lived his life in his 33 years of living on this earth. And like what he says about singleness, or like, does Jesus even talk about singleness? Like he didn't date anyone. He wasn't married. So like, let's go dive into like what Jesus talked about singleness.
I think Jesus, okay, here's the thing. And I think Jesus loved the single people.
Oh, yeah.
I think he loved marriage. Like he designed us to be in relationship with each other. But I think he had a special heart for single people because it's when you're single that you can fully abide in the Lord with your whole heart and your whole soul and mind. And not to say you can't do that when you're dating or married, but you get to date Jesus.
Yeah.
You get to prepare for your husband before you meet your husband.
Right.
By spending time with the Lord. And I think of John 15 a lot when it talks about the vine and the branches and abiding in Jesus. And abiding is such a beautiful word because it's just fully resting and leaning on him for every need that you have. And that's been something that has been really, really beautiful in my life that I've been trying to like lean into is like in the moments when I see my friends having babies or getting married and I'm like, I wish that was me. Like, I mean, I'm not going to hide from that. Like, I wish I was 29 and had 2 kids by now and was a stay-at-home mom and got to like go to soccer games or whatever. Like, I wish that was my life right now. But also I look and I'm like, but look at all these other things that I've been able to do that have been equally as incredible as having a family. But it's in the moments when I'm like, I feel like I'm starting to spiral that I'm like, okay, wait, stop.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the vine and you are the branches. And I need to like anchor myself to you and abide in you because it's when I abide that I become like full by spending time with Jesus. And I want to be able to have that time with the Lord and to rest in him now so then I can still do that when I'm married.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not be like, oh, my life starts when I'm married.
Right.
Like, no, my life starts now. Like, I can have this intimate relationship with the Lord now. It doesn't have to happen when I'm married.
Right. Yeah, that's a huge, powerful thing because as a single Christian person versus a single non-Christian person, you have Jesus to fulfill you. But if you're a non-Christian and you're single and you're trying to like fill in that hole with people or boyfriends or just like one night stands or like quick fixes, that's not going to fill you up. Like if you're trying to look for a way that's going to fulfill you in a person, you're not even going to find that, through a husband or a spouse or anything like that. So being a single Christian person is like a really powerful thing because then for sure, like, no, my identity is in Christ, like not in what a person says about me or the apps or like a profile. Like, I think that's important.
And something that you said reminded me, I hear this a lot at weddings, but it's so true, is marriage doesn't make you whole, it makes you holy. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
When you think of it in that sense, like in my single season that I'm in now, or if you're in a single season, like whenever you get married, if that's in the Lord's plan for your life, that's not going to make your life whole. It's going to make you more holy because marriage should be a physical representation here on earth of Christ's love with the church. But what makes you whole is abiding in Jesus and being whole in your identity in Jesus. And I think it's important to recognize that singleness isn't an identity, it's a season. You're in a season right now. And it's in this season that you can be like, okay, God, like remain in me and I will remain in you. And like, I want to hold fast to that. Like as hard as it may be sometimes. And, also like I remember a couple weeks ago, I was kind of in this mindset of like, I was like, oh my gosh, like literally I'm like the last of my friends to get married. Literally the last of my friends to be in an actual relationship. Like I was thinking through, I was like, I haven't been on a date in 2 years. I've been like strictly single for 2 years, which has been so beautiful because I look in those 2 years and I'm like, what have I been able to accomplish and do that I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise?
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like that earthly raw feeling of being like, this is something I thought my life would be different though at the same time. And it's something that's been really heavy and strong on my heart because I just see it so much in my life. And sometimes it can be, I'm going to be honest, like with all of you who are dating or in a relationship or engaged or married with kids, like your single friends, it is sometimes so hard for them to celebrate constantly other people.
Right.
And it can be so draining and so exhausting.
They themselves want that same dream. Yeah.
Right. Yep. And so like I was just in a season where I just kind of felt like I just had got through this whole like couple months of just celebrating so many amazing things that I love my friends having walked through those milestones that I just broke down in my room and was like wailing. And that seems so dramatic, but it was like kind of like in the Bible where it's like they would tear off their clothes in mourning. And all of a sudden on Spotify, this song How He Loves came on. And I just, again, started wailing because at the end of the day, like, Jesus loves us so much. Like, he is so jealous for us that he died on the cross for us. Not for only the married people or only those that are dating or only those that are single, but for us as the children of God and us as humanity. And I was sitting there, I was like, God, like, I just want my life to be a representation of who you are, whether I'm single for the rest of my life or not. And I found so much comfort in that because it wasn't because I was like, had this revelation that I'm going to meet my person tomorrow. It was, God's like, you literally, I am the one, your first love.
Yeah.
I'm the one who died for you because I love you. And I'm so jealous for you. And I was like, singleness is a season where I get to just like soak up how much he loves us.
Yeah.
And like understand that it's only, as John 15 says, that we can be whole through Jesus. And when we get married, it makes us holy. And I was like, whoa. And I think that's the beautiful thing of this extra, I like to say I have extra time.
Right.
Even though sometimes I think I'm like, I have no time at all. I'm like, I know I have extra time. I can go home and get my work done and have a nighttime routine and like spend time with the Lord at night and in the morning and read my Devo at work. I don't have to answer right now to kids or a husband. Like, I just get to soak in all this time to like get to know the Lord and to prepare my heart for the one that I get to love here on earth. And I think that's something that's been super beautiful, especially when we think about like how does Jesus define love and singleness, and like especially in the season that single people are in now, like just resting at the feet of Jesus. Like I think of Mary and Martha too, like both of them, I don't think either of them were married, but Mary chose to sit at the feet of Jesus. And Martha being as chaotic as she is, Jesus being like, your sister chose what was better. It's like, I want to have a Mary heart in a Martha world. And I want to have the heart that rests in the Lord and not falls into this Martha world of chaos. That, oh my gosh, I'm almost 30 and I'm still single. And like people throw like your biological time clock or whatever. And it's like, okay, come on. Like, let's calm down for a second because now we're just being dramatic right now. Like, yes, it is true. But like, also, I'm going to sit at the feet of Jesus right now.
A few things that came to mind when you were talking, and like how you were saying that your earthly desire to be like in a relationship, I think it's like a heavenly desire too, because like God did not make man to live alone. Like he literally was like, all right, this is good. Like
you see that in Genesis 2 verse 18.
Yes. Yeah. Like creation looks great, but hey, I think Adam's kind of lonely. Like he needs a partner, and like he made Eve, and it was like very good. You know what I mean? So like God created us to be in fellowship with one another. And I think that's like a heavenly draw to be in a relationship with other people. So of course, like validate those feelings, like take that time to
You're not crazy to desire marriage.
No, absolutely not. Like that's a good thing to be like thinking about and planning for and preparing for. It's like if you have a trip coming up, you pack for it and you think about like your itinerary and you've got stuff that you want to do, like plan for that adventure. And then when that train arrives at the station and you're like, all right, I'm packed. You're not like scrambling to get your stuff together.
Right.
It's like, no, I'm ready to go on this adventure. I've
been trying to get into reading, but at the same time, this may contradict what I say. I don't have time to just sit and read a book. Like sometimes I got a lot of things going on, but I've started this book, an audiobook on Spotify by Kim Vollendorf, and it's called Loving Your Husband Before You Even Have One. And I think that really replicates what you were saying of like, how do you prepare in your single season, your heart and your like who you are as like becoming the best version of yourself for your husband before you ever meet your husband. And I think that's like such a beautiful mindset, because like you said, like the desire for marriage and the desire for relationship is very much a heavenly desire. Like God created us to be in a relationship with one another, including marriage relationship. But like, how are you using this season as a single person to prepare yourself for that next season whenever that comes?
And it's so hard when you see everyone else is like jumping on that train or getting engaged or like a proposal story, or when you have to like literally a photo shoot of a proposal like at 4 a.m. or whatever you do. It's crazy. And you're like capturing these beautiful moments and you're like, when is it my turn? It's so hard to shut out those lies of like, I'm unlovable or like, what's wrong with me? Because you're the most loved, like Jesus, like you said, he died for you. So like when you tell yourself you're unlovable, Jesus is like, what? Hold up. Like I love you so much. Like you are not unlovable. It's that we want that desire from like the earthly standpoint. And it's so hard when you see other people getting, you know, those same things that you were praying for too.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like we're like touching on a lot of our points that we have. I love when we have these outlines because like I couldn't go anywhere without an outline, but then we tend to like go and drift into it, which is fantastic. So you've talked a little bit about like your story a little bit and how that's affected you like growing up. I feel like single in your high school years feels different than single in your college years, and then single and you're like, okay, now I'm reaching 30. How was that?
Pushing 30, man. Pushing 30.
30 and thriving. Is that what they say?
What is it? 30, flirty, and thriving or something like that? Yeah.
So
definitely.
Like, what are some lessons that being single has taught you that you don't think anything else would have taught you if you were in that same situation? Does that make sense?
Some lessons.
Yeah. Some lessons that being single has taught you.
I think a couple things. Some lessons. I think it really has come down to like, how do I define my worth in who I am? And I think for me, a little bit of a background is I was the firstborn daughter, and I would say my brother and I had to grow up pretty early on with my parents' work. It was just kind of always like one parent was always at work and one parent was at home. Sometimes we would be home for a couple hours by ourselves to like keep ourselves alive until my parents got home. Granted, we were in school. So like, I mean, I knew how to open up the garage door, but I just feel like I had to grow up so early, which I think then kind of snowballed effect how I live my life. Just being a little bit more independent, just thinking I can do things on my own. I don't need anyone to help me. I would say this to my parents, and my parents would be like, absolutely. And I would say, I'm someone, if I have a dream, I'll figure out how to reach that dream and do the dang thing. And they're like, yes, that is who you are. But I'm like, because that's all I've ever known is doing things that I have dreams for, doing things on my own, because I grew up needing to do things on my own every once in a while. And asking for help was just like not in the picture. But then too, I think like my success sometimes fell in how achieved I was or how much I achieved, whether that's personally or professionally or even relationally. And I had a relationship a couple years ago, actually quite a long time ago, like probably 5 years ago, that I was like, this is going to be the relationship. Like my parents are going to love him. Like, and honestly, I would say it was the messiest relationship ever.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty toxic and it was pretty unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And that relationship kind of broke me because I was like, apparently I am not lovable, but also there was a little bit of tension in I was pretty successful in my career, and I think he felt a little threatened by that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've had to struggle a lot of my single life of how much do I tell a guy that I do. Like when you tell a guy and you sit down on a first date and you say, I work as an executive assistant with the CEO at the hospital, I own a photography business, and I run a ministry.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You're like, one, do you have time?
Yep.
2, like, you're crazy successful and I'm just, I don't know, finance bro or something. And I'm just like, okay, but now you're just starting to judge me by what I'm saying, not asking, why do you do what you do? And trying to seek to understand. Like, why do I do what I do? Well, I want to be able to grow a business where I can quit corporate America so I can stay home with my kids and be a mom that's present in their life. Like, I want to go to the soccer games. I want to go to gymnastics. I want to go to youth group. Like, I want to be a part of their life because I sometimes wish that I didn't have to guess what parent was going to be at my choir concert or what parent was going to show up to a soccer game, or am I going to have to go with so-and-so's family to a soccer tournament in the cities because my parents have to work? Like, I love my parents because they work so hard for us. But I'm also like realizing I don't want to have to subject my kids to that one day. Like, I want to be so present in their life that they're like, Mom, I'm sick of you. Love you, but sick of you. Go live your life. Go on a trip or something. Like, you're too much here. But like, what has the Lord taught me in that is that my success and my worth is not defined, 1, in my relationship status, and 2, not defined by how much I do. And like, my worth, truly, I have felt more whole in my life when I eat healthy. When I spend time at the gym, when I spend time with the Lord, when I make time for my friends and my community, and I just like live my life. And not by the standards of society, but by like the standards that I have felt that the Lord has pushed me to become the best version of myself. And yes, there's a question of like, am I not enough, or what am I missing in my life? But I think I've been trying to reframe that of like, I am enough. And like, the right one will come along. The right person will feel so excited to support me in what I'm doing and will love me for who I am. And my hope is that I live my life where that person, all they see is Jesus. And they're like, I love her because she loves Jesus with her whole heart. And I'm like, that's what the Lord has taught me, is like, live this life so fully for me and like go on mission with me. And it's like the triangle analogy that like they always tell you at church when they talk about relationships. But I love it because if I am pursuing after the Lord, if I'm like going on mission for the Lord, I hope that when my husband comes, I'm looking right across the way and we're just getting closer and closer together as we're chasing after the Lord together. And that's what the Lord has really, really been pressing on my heart recently, is like, go on mission with me.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Wow, I feel like we've covered so much. And we could go on for forever and ever. But like, I love the idea of keeping this conversation going and just having our followers like DM us on Instagram if they have more questions, or like how they can relate to you, or maybe they have words of advice or wisdom that we haven't heard of before.
I run the Instagram, so I'm there. Come say hey.
As we kind of think of like how independence isn't the goal, and like relationship with Jesus and preparing your heart, I feel like you've done such a good job of like plugging in that audiobook that you were listening to, and John 15, the vine and the branches. Is there any more like words of wisdom or pieces of advice or like scripture that you could emphasize on that maybe our listeners are looking for?
I think one of the biggest pictures, the triangle analogy, but I think the triangle analogy also is seen in Ecclesiastes 4:12, which talks about the cord of 3 strands, which you see all the time at like unity ceremonies at weddings. I've seen it all, people. Like, I've been a wedding planner for 13 years. I've probably seen it.
Yep.
But I think that's another representation of like, as you intertwine yourself with the Lord, like when that person comes along and then like you start intertwining that person in, like you are going to become so strong. And like that is what people will see as they're like, they truly reflect the love Christ has for the church in their marriage. And so my advice would be like, as hard as like, I think bring in healthy people into your life from all different seasons of life to like help you in this season. Like, don't do it alone because you will feel lonely. Yep. But also don't have a community where it's all married people or all dating people. Like, make sure you have single friends. Yeah. And like, I have like 3 to 5 single friends that are around my same age that like I love hanging out with them, and like we can talk about things that are on our heart or things that we're struggling with when it comes to dating and relationships. We can laugh about terrible date stories, and I have them to be like, girl, the struggle is real. Where like, if someone was like, oh, the struggle is real when they're married, I'm like, you haven't had to walk through this struggle, ma'am. Yeah. Like, calm down. Like, you literally have a husband and a kid. Yeah. Chill. But also at the same time, having those people that are married and dating, because I think you can learn so much from their relationships just by observing, and the way that they're like, their husbands treat you as a single woman and like treating you with respect, I think is huge. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. And I know you've had people in your life that are like that too. And you're like, oh, that's what I want. Or like, oh, I like that. Or just like knowing what a godly man looks like and seeing those healthy relationships. Like, I hope that builds you up and makes you encouraged instead of like, oh man, like I need that. I want that right now. Yeah.
I will say, when we were figuring out this like outline, this is kind of a hot take, because this is when people can start getting into like, can guys and girls just be friends? Right. And it's like, okay, like, but how old? Yeah. There are situations where guys and girls cannot be friends. I will say that if you want to talk about it, hit the last season, the season finale with Jill and Kelly, we talked about this. But like, I have a handful of guys, and I've been reflecting on this recently. I have a handful of guys that are, not all of them are Christian though either, but they're just good guys, and they're very well married. Like, they have kids or they have kids on the way. But when I am with like, there's 2 guys that I golf with every Tuesday, and these guys are so kind. And I'm like, you guys literally are setting the expectations so high for my future husband. But I'm like, that should be the bare minimum. Yeah. Like, I was walking across a putting green at golf a couple weeks ago, and one of the guys that I golf with literally held the door open the entire time. And I looked at him, I was like, you did not need to hold the door open the entire time. He's like, no, I wanted to. And I was like, okay. I was like, that was so, like, he waited for me to hold the door open. I was texting them the other day, and I was like, hey, like, I don't know if I'm going to make it to golf. Like, it's been a really rough day. Let's just say like Rebecca cried at work today. And they were like, who we got to fight? Like, I'll go high, you go low. And I was like, you know what? That is such a beautiful thing, because I'm like, I would want my future husband to hold the door open for me, number 1, bare minimum. 2, to be like, you know, who do I gotta go fight? Like, they're supporting me, be like, I understand you're having a very bad day. And they made my day so great when I got to golf. Like, it was fun. I golfed really great. Like, I didn't suck, so that was great. But then I have a lot of Christian guys that they're like, hey, like, I know you got this going on. Like, how are you doing with that? Or like, they treat me with respect, and they see me as a person of who I am, not what's my relationship status.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
And that has been so, I would say, beautiful and kind of unexpected. Like, this has only been recently. And 2, I think having friends who have these guys that are so good to them, but then they also treat their best friend equally good. I'm like Valentine's Day a couple years ago, I was with my friend Jordan, and we like went and had dinner. Her boyfriend was working that night, and then we went back to her house to watch a movie, and he had texted her saying, are you at the house? And she was like, yeah, I'm here with Rebecca. And so not only one did he go pick up flowers for her, but he picked me up a rose on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So I had a flower too.
Yeah.
Not, I'm just going to get Jordan a flower because she's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
But you're with your best friend, who I also cherish and adore. And I want her to feel loved on Valentine's Day, because I know this day can kind of be hard.
Right.
And I was like shocked. I was like, guys really do this?
Right.
But it gave me hope at the same time that like there are good guys out there. And like this right here is like the bare minimum.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So future husband, if you're out there, keep notes. Take notes.
Open doors.
Open doors. Bring a rose.
Text to make you laugh.
And make me feel seen when I cry at work.
Yeah.
That's all.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Well, we hope as always that you as listeners have really just like dove into this topic with us. And we really appreciate you. If you've been listening since day one, or you've been here for, everything that we've been through, I feel like we were like growing up together, which is so fun with our followers. And you've maybe seen how we've started from like just starting from scratch, and then it's like, look where we are now, and looking back on it and going through those trials and those things with us is really, really important. So please comment and subscribe. Please like and follow us. We have our merch store that we're excited about. We've got events that are happening all the time. Keep up with our newsletter and our blog. We've been kind of putting those things in works a little bit. We're talking about the fruits of the Spirit this summer, so we've got a good season of study that's going on.
Y'all, I did the fruit of love.
Yes, you did.
That was fun.
I loved it.
I think like as we kind of wrap up the singleness topic, I think the biggest thing is just recognizing that, like, for those of you who have single people in your life, like, just love on them, like, cherish them, celebrate them, make them feel seen, and like, but I would also challenge you, like, celebrate them the way that they've celebrated you.
Yeah.
And then, like, the single people out there, just keep falling into Jesus, keep abiding in him, surround yourself with good people, like, and good mentors and good images of marriage, I think is super important. And like, just continue leaning into the Lord. Like, it is a hard season. Like, I will not say it's not. Like, I will not sugarcoat that. It's a hard season. I'm walking through that season. I'm living in it right now. But sometimes you might have to wail on the floor and sing How He Loves, which I don't think I've sang in like 6 years.
It's a good one.
And then I brought it to church because I was like, this is so beautiful. And I think people need the reminder that they're so loved. And just know that marriage doesn't make you like whole.
Yeah.
It makes you holy. And just lean into the Lord and love him. And when that one person comes along, you'll know.
Love it.
You'll know. So, well, like Jenni said, this is a wrap on our episode back. We're a little rusty, but it was good.
Thanks for hanging in there.
It was good. If you need to go back to the beginning to listen to all the things you should not say to your single friend, highly recommend if you popped in a little late. But yeah, if you guys want to continue chatting, I'm always on the DMs. Like, feel free to reach out on my personal or Boldly Seeking. I would love to chat with y'all. This is something I think I've become more passionate about recently. And so I just kind of want to like bring people along with the ride, and who knows, maybe I'll like hard launch someone new in like the next 6 months. You never know. God can do crazy things, but if not, it's okay because I get to hang with Jesus for like my whole life. So
amen to that.
All right, friends, we'll see you back here in a couple weeks. We are so excited to just continue chatting through a handful of topics, and we are just so crazy blessed to have you guys along for the journey. So love you, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for spending time with us here on the Between the Pages podcast. At Boldly Seeking, our heart is to help you live out your faith with courage, to step boldly into the places God is calling you to, and to remember you're never walking this journey alone. If you've been encouraged by today's conversation, would you take a moment to share this episode with a friend, leave a rating or review, and join the Boldly Seeking community? You can connect with us on Instagram and Facebook to explore more resources or support the mission through giving or our store, all at boldlyseeking.online. Until next time, keep boldly seeking Jesus in your story, in your community, and in the world.